Adam.
Skull and Bones. The
I was
game.
I wanted you to introduce it because I wanted to hear your enthusiasm level of the game.
It's not very high. It's not as high as you thought.
No, it was not.
Okay. Okay. The more I watched, the more things I saw about this game. I've had my roller coaster of this game. I'm excited. I'm not excited. I'm not excited. Right now, I'm kind of in the middle about this game, and there's a lot of reasons to it. So this game has been delayed. It's kind of went silent for a while. They're like, okay, this game's probably never going to come out. It's who knows when it's going to come out. Well, officially, this game is coming out February 16th. So I figured we can show the release or the release date trailer, which and just kind of talk about it as we go.
Yeah, let's take a look at the trailer.
Overall, there's a lot of people kind of split on this game. We can kind of go into that a little bit. And so here's the trailer. And so what this game is you're basically a pirate, and it's taking place in the Indian Ocean. And essentially you're trying to conquer this area and kind of complete missions up to a 3-player co-op. So you'll be able to have 3 other ships or 2 other ships with you to fight other NPCs, also other players. And essentially there's a lot of mechanics of like naval warfare. And I think that's kind of where people are starting to like not excited about this game. And we'll kind of go into it a little bit. But overall, I think it looks cool because like ships and things like this are really fun to me. I loved Sea of Thieves, and it's got a lot of elements of like what you'd want in a pirate game if you're steering the ship, if that makes sense. They'll have aspects of ghost ships and things like that, which you see here. And like I said, it comes out February 16th, and if you pre-order, you get 3 days early access.
Yeah, if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, I mean, the trailer itself looked really, really cool. So we saw everything that you would expect to see. We saw the pirate ships, obviously. We saw a lot of the naval warfare. We saw a lot of very cool locations that look very Caribbean and very, like you would expect them to look from a pirate game. And we also saw that clip of what was that gigantic thing that came out of the water?
I don't know if it's supposed to be like a play on the rock. What's the sea monster? I can't remember
Like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, like a Loch Ness monster, maybe.
Yeah, I mean
I think that's what that's supposed to be.
That was pretty cool. But okay, so here's my number one question because I did a lot of research on it, and it's funny that you brought up Sea of Thieves. Is this just Ubisoft Sea of Thieves?
Nope. I think this is Ubisoft's naval warfare game. And that's kind of where people have kind of draw like our 50-50 split of whether this game is going to be good or not. A lot of people are not calling this a pirate game because it doesn't have any hand-to-hand combat, like close-up combat. You can't board other ships. And so that's kind of where like people are upset, where they're like, wait, why can't I do this? Like, I'm a pirate. I should be able to jump onto somebody else's ship and like fight them. Or I should be able to take over their ship instead of just blowing it up and grabbing the scraps after. And I think that's where the split is. So people are not calling this a pirate game. They're calling it a naval warfare game. Which for me, once I understood that's kind of where people are starting to say it, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, I think they're right. It's more of that naval warfare game rather than a pirate game. Yes, it's got pirate elements, but I think it's truly a naval like warfare like action game rather than a pirate game, if that makes sense.
Does that make you more interested or less interested? Because it kind of just sounds like it's Sea of Thieves with less things you can do.
So I will say, I'm excited for a different reason now, if that makes sense. When I originally was looking at this game, I was like, wow, a more realistic Sea of Thieves where I can have up to 8 people on my ship and it's going to be like legit like pirates. That's when I was excited. But when I learned about what it is, I'm excited to the point that I like ship combat. Because, I used to play like World of Warships quite a bit and I love those games. But now if I want a pirate game, I'm going to have to go play a Sea of Thieves. Like, get off the ship, hand-to-hand combat, things like that. And why I'm excited for this game. I'll be able to collect my own ships, upgrade my own ships, like customize in that sense. Because in Sea of Thieves, you can't upgrade your ship. Like your ship is everybody's ship has the same power, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. With this one, it's gonna have some strategy to it where like this cannon shoots long range, or this cannon shoots like a shotgun, or this cannon shoots like fire, like you know what I mean, has fire elements, or armor like this armor is more resistant to fire. This armor is more resistant to like getting holes in the ship, so it doesn't sink as fast. And so I think that's really cool. But in terms of like, am I as excited as I would have been if it was like a true hand to hand, like take over other people's ships combat? No, if that makes sense.
Does the 3-player co-op, I mean, does that scare you at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it'd be fun because kind of what I watched the gameplay reveal trailer, like gameplay detailed trailer, and it was saying like it's if you want other people in the game with you, like if you want a team or if you're struggling, you can like you shoot up the flare and more ships can come help you. And so it's not PvP unless you make it PvP too. So like the way you make it PvP, and I'm sure they'll release other things with it. Like if you if you make it PvP, you have to pick up the treasure map, and then you get marked on the map, and then other players can come attack you if you're looking for this treasure map.
Do you think you're gonna be at a serious disadvantage if you don't have like two other people with you though?
I think probably. I think
Yeah,
there'd be missions that it's gonna be very hard to complete without a fleet of friends or things like that.
that's what I'm worried about. Is like,
But I don't think it has to be like your friends. I think it's to be open matchmaking, and then so people will just be able to join. Ubisoft does that pretty well, to be honest. So like in even like the division, like I'm struggling with a mission. I like, oh, I'm just gonna open up matchmaking, and people just join your group, and you get the mission done, and it's over. And then like they either stay with you or they go their separate way.
yeah. Eh, I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be a good mix. It's gonna be a good mix of people that are kind of excited for this and people that are not. I mean, we talked about this before with the amount of delays that happens on this game. Like, do you think the fan base is still interested?
I don't know. That's kind of when I was looking through the comments and what people were saying about this game. I think there's still a good following of this game, to be honest. Because I thought I was going to see a lot of negativity, like, oh, this game's been talked about for too long. They've changed it a bunch. But no, in the comments, people are like saying like they've updated a lot since like the alpha testing, the old beta testing. Like they're upgrading this game, which like a delay should. They should be upgrading the mechanics of the game. They say it feels much better, it looks much better than what it had started at, if that makes sense. So it sounds like they put the time in to make it a better game than what they were planned on to releasing in past.
I mean, all the power to them, man. You know me. I love pirates. I love anything to do with
Mm.
pirates. Pirates are super badass. So I hope the game's successful. Um, I don't know. I don't- I w- I want to say I hope it's successful. I just don't know if there's just from what I've been seeing. I just don't know if the level of interest is there. After kind of these announcements of what it is, unfortunately.
I think there's a big. I will say I think it took the interest took a dip. I will
Yeah.
admit. I think the interest took a dip, but I think there is a good base of people that want to play this game, and they're gonna have to cater to that smaller audience rather than if they would have made it more true pirate, like take over ships. And who knows, maybe they'll expand the game because there is first or like off ship elements, like you can walk around and things like that. So maybe like in a big patch or big update to the game, they add some of those elements because like they have the groundwork where they can do that. So who knows what they can expand this game to? Because like there's many games that have expanded into more than just what they release at, if that makes sense.
I mean, is there a storyline to this game?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't I think there is cuz yeah, there definitely is cuz I was watching it because there's this guy that you can try to join him, and I think like he gives you missions and you're trying to like work together, and I think essentially overtake him at some point. I don't know. And then
Do you
the biggest thing is you're trying to raise your notoriety, or what's the other word? I think notoriety, and then you're trying to get to the top. essentially, of becoming like the kingpin, and then you'll be able to have your own pirate legacy and things like that.
Do you think this game is going to be strong enough to pull people from Sea of Thieves, or do you think people
No.
are kind of over with Sea of Thieves?
Nope. I think true CFD fans are like Sea of Thieves fans, true and true. Especially with how much content Sea of Thieves releases, I think there's no way that true Sea of Thieves fans are gonna come to this game.
All right. Well, we gave it everything we could, skull and bones.
I'm excited for it though. Like, and I have Ubisoft Plus, so I'm not gonna spend any additional money on getting this game. Like, I'll have it already.
So if you have Ubisoft Plus, it's just going to be a free to play.
Yeah, and that's every Ubisoft game. Like Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, I'm playing that because I already paid for it. Like I'm paying for it monthly, so
Well,
yeah, I think it is cool. One thing I think this it has one leg up on Sea of Thieves rather than I think having the ability to have multiple ships for different situations is really cool. I am really concerned about what happens if my ship sinks. Do I lose that ship?
I
Because the way
mean,
you buy ships by upgrading and resources and things like that. So if I put all this work in and getting all this supplies and resource for this ship, is it gone? So I'm hoping not, but who knows?
I feel like they probably couldn't do it. They probably
Yeah.
couldn't make it like a perma death on the ship because
Yeah.
especially if they're introducing a PvP aspect of
Hmm.
it, it's like, do you know how mad people would be if they just like ran into some random somebody that just shot their ship down and like that was the end of the ship? They would be so
Well,
angry.
you can avoid the PvP if you don't ever pick up the treasure maps. So just don't pick up treasure maps. You don't have to worry about PvP. So
Still, I feel like the permadeath on the ship would be really, really bad.
if they do anything like World of Warships, once your ship sinks, you have to wait like I think it's like an hour, and you can use that ship again.
I mean, that's fine. A time limit's fine, but a permadeath is,
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
not a
crazy.
fan.
But my what if you only have one ship? Are you stuck with only having zero ships then? And you have to
You
wait that
just,
full hour? That kind
you
of sucks.
just have to hang on the land, you salty dog.
Just gotta wave at everybody walking by or sailing by.
Maybe you could join somebody else's team and just kind of work the cannon or something.
Well, that's the thing. That's one thing I wish this game had. I wish like instead of like controlling the whole ship by yourself, I think it'd be cool to jump on additional like you're a component of the ship, like you're in charge of the cannons or you're in charge of the sails or you're in charge of the wheel, like kind of how Sea of Thieves was, but whatever.
But you're going to be just controlling the ship and just like using it as like the ship is not a ship. It's really just a weapon that you're controlling,
Yeah, the
basically.
you yeah, essentially like you are the ship. Like your character can go off the ship, but when you're on the water, you are the ship.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not really sure, but Adam's excited about it. He's got Ubisoft Plus, so he'll be checking it out.
Hmm.
Yeah, keep us updated. Let us know what you think once it drops. I wish it all the best. I would be hard pressed to think that it's going to succeed, but who knows? I've been wrong before.